All right, good morning, MIP Personal Project people. Hello and happy Personal Project Wednesday. I know it's been a while, all right? It's been a little bit. You were selecting all your classes, very exciting. So we haven't had as much time to talk about personal projects. All right, I know it's sad, but we're here now. So let's look at the personal project reflecting phase outline. All right, this is the very last outline we have, all right, and then you're done with your personal project outlines, all right? So let's talk a little bit about this. So what's left? Final personal project report is due Friday, February 26th, all right? If you weren't aware, next week is February, all right? Kind of a crazy thing to think about, all right? But it's here, all right? That's actually less than a month away, all right? You know, back when we were saying like, oh yeah, it's due next year, right? It's not anymore. It's due next month, all right? In fact, it's less than a month. Today's the 27th, all right? And that's the 26th that it's due. So less than a month there. All right, time is flying by. So what is actually due on Friday, February 26th? All right, so it's going to be your final report. The final report is just where you copy and paste your outlines together. All right, you're going to take the 4 outlines you've written. You're going to take the work in those boxes that you wrote. You're going to take it, you're going to copy and paste it into a single document, all right? You're also going to add in some evidence, all right? So you're going to add in some of those pictures or some of those screenshots or whatever it is that you were collecting, video, music. You're going to collect some of that so whoever's assessing your work knows a little bit about what you did, gives them some background on what you did. So you're going to put that evidence in, and you're going to put in some of your process journal entries at the end, and you're good. All right, that is your report. All right, so our next ACP lesson, we're going to look at how to combine all of these together. All right, so we're going to have time actually in ACP. You're just going to combine it all together, and you can submit it, and you can be done. All right, but before we can do that, you got to make sure you have those outlines done. All right, so today we're going to talk about the last outline. That's the reflecting phase outline. All right, so we're going to look at those components. All right, before we get to that, all right, this is what I said before there. All right. So what should you be doing right now? All right, you should be finishing those 4 outlines. Get evidence, pictures, video, screenshots, audio recording, whatever it was, of your project. Find your process journal entries. All right, you started those back in design. Bring them all to ACP. All right, February 10th, and you're going to put them together. All right, that's kind of a big one for us. That's a big day for us. We're going to take all that stuff and you're going to put it all together. So please do that. Questions on that? No? You got it. All right. If you do have questions, you just ask your ACP teacher. They're going to be able to answer them better than I can through this video. All right. Let's talk really quick, though, reflecting phase outline. All right. So a couple things that have come up between many students. All right. Throughout this time, I changed my topic. I changed my goal. I modified it a little bit. That's awesome. All right. You learned. You grew. You adapted. You changed. That's great. All right. Don't delete anything else you did. All right. But in this reflecting phase, this is a really powerful time for you to talk about why you made those changes, how making those changes went, all right, what you would do different next time. That's all great to incorporate, all right? So don't delete something you did just because maybe at the start you're like, I'm going to write a 600-page book, and then you started going, you're like, maybe that was too many pages. I have to change my goal, all right? That's okay, all right? So don't delete your initial stuff. But in the reflecting phase, talk about it. This is a really powerful moment to do that, right? Would you do something different next time? Make sure you talk about that here, all right? You're like, you know what? I wish I didn't procrastinate so long. I wish I would have just done the outlines when they were suggested by our personal project coordinator. You know, that's a good thing to write in there, all right? Feel free to do that, all right? And then finally, are you curious how this work is going to be assessed? All right, you're like, I want to know how I'm going to get grade on this, all right? Well, the reflecting phase criteria document posted in Google Classroom is your answer to that. All right, if you look at it, it's a rubric, just like you probably see when you get an essay or a lab report or an assignment, all right? You get a rubric, all right? Well, that's the rubric. Those are the criteria that we'll use to assess your work, all right? So you want to look at how you can score a little bit higher for this? Look at that document. You don't have to submit it. It's not a homework assignment. It's not a practice assignment. It's not an evidence assignment. It's just a document that you can work on, all right, and see, well, how are they going to actually assess my work? All right, so that's all posted in Google Classroom. Let's take a second and go and look at all of that stuff in our Google Classroom, all right? All right, so that's what we're looking for. Let's actually look in Google Classroom now that we know what we're doing, all right? We're working on our outlines. We're getting our outlines set so that way you can put them together in ACP in 2 weeks and be done with your personal project, all right? It's February 10th. We're going to have that day where we put all your stuff together and you could just submit it on that day, all right? So a couple important things. You'll see, if you go in your Google Classroom, you'll see under Evidence Check 4, reflecting phase criteria, all right? If you click on this document, that is what is going to be the grading criteria, all right, or the assessment criteria for your work. So if you're curious, well, how do I get in these higher categories? All right, well, here's what you do, all right? Sound good? You don't have to submit this document. You don't have to do anything with this document other than just look at it and see if you can try and incorporate some of these higher skills in your work. All right, and then the second piece we have in here is the actual outline. Let's go and look at that outline right now. All right, so reflecting phase outline. All right, there are 3 paragraphs. All right, 300 to 500 words in total. Only about 100 words per paragraph. All right, you got this. So the first thing, evaluate your product. All right, explain. So you made those criteria way back in the planning phase. Here, reflecting, you're going to say, hey, did I meet these? All right, so I said my project was going to have a $20 budget. All right, look back and then say, well, actually, you know, I spent a little over budget. All right, write that there. Just explain that. All right, and then it would be really helpful to explain, well, maybe what would you do differently next time? All right, well, maybe next time I'm going to try and limit my menu so I don't have to spend as much money and I can stay under budget. All right, explain those though. Did you meet your criteria or not? If you didn't meet your criteria, that's okay. All right, you don't have to lie. All right, you don't have to make it up. You don't have to say, I'm not doing this part because I didn't meet it. That's okay. All right, really just be honest and reflective. That's the whole point of this. So if you didn't meet your goal, that's fine. All right, if it didn't look exactly as you had planned, that's totally fine. All right, the important thing here is that you write about, well, what could you do differently next time? That's really what we want to see here. All right. We're not worried completely with like, oh, you met every criteria you set way back there. All right. We want to look at, did you learn from this? All right. Did you learn that you could reflect, that you could change? That's really the whole point of this. All right. So talking about what would you have done differently, that's a powerful thing if you did change or if you didn't fully meet all of your criteria. All right. Second paragraph, new understandings. All right. What'd you find out? All right. What'd you find out with this? All right. What'd you learn? How to go? All right. Just explain that there. All right. And then reflection on growth as an IB learner. All right. So this is a part where you just talk about how did it go for you, more personally for you. All right. What did you learn about yourself? Do you still procrastinate? Is that something you can work on? All right. That could be a great thing. So another great way to take that. All right, tying back to ATL skills. So maybe did you procrastinate a lot? That was a problem. Talk about self-management. All right, that's something you can work on. Or was a challenge for you some of the research? That's another ATL skill you could talk about there. Or was it communicating with people? You didn't like having to go out and communicate with people, especially virtually. Talk about that here. All right, this is a great place to bring in those ATL skills. And again, this is an IB project, so using IB terms is a fantastic way to kind of showcase what you've done. All right, so talking about that here, again, self-management skills is fantastic. All right, but this one is just really reflective. All right, you don't have to cite sources in this. All right, you don't have to bring in outside research, really. All you have to do for these 3 paragraphs is just talk about yourself, talk about your experiences. All right, and just be honest. All right, did you change? Did you not change? Did you grow? Did you learn? Did you face a challenge? Was this easy for you? Just explain. All right, this is for you to talk about how the project went. All right, so key takeaways for today. Do this outline. Talk to your supervisor, as always. I don't even need to say that anymore. You know it. All right, talk to your supervisor. And then please have your outlines, have your material ready for ACP on the 10th. On the 10th, we're going to spend the day putting this together. So bring it. You could have your personal project done on that day. All right, if you can get your outlines done. All right, bring that to ACP. Otherwise, have a fantastic day. Make good choices. Goodbye, goodbye.